Okay, welcome back, everyone, and we will carry on with our regular meeting. The next item on the agenda is the council meeting minutes for approval, and we have two meeting minutes here, and the resolution is that the following minutes be adopted, and the first one is the regular council meeting of December 9th, 2024. And then the second council meeting for December 11th, 2024. Thank you, Councillor Wilson, seconder, Councillor Hanson. All those in favor, please. That was carried. The next item on the agenda is a resolution to adopt the committee of the whole recommendations, and the recommendations from the December 9th, 2024 committee of the whole meeting to be considered for adoption, and we'll do them individually. The first one is a resolution that council consider and resolve that the following items considered and received for information at the November 28th, 2024 committee meeting of the whole be adopted. And the first one is the Bylaw Services Monthly Report of November 2024 and the Trail and District Public Library Third Quarter Report. And Councillor Wilson, thank you, and Councillor Martin. Any questions or comments on those two reports? Okay. All those in favor? Thank you, that was carried. The next item is that council received for information the report titled The Trail Memorial Center Memorial Lounge Schematic Design Review Update, including the GHL Consultants Limited BC Building Code Compliance Review and the LEC Group Class C Estimate. Councillor Benson and Councillor Martin, all those in favor? Thank you, that was carried. That council approved based on a comparative per capita basis, an increase of 4% retroactive to January 1st of 2024, the indemnity of the mayor and members of council. Is there someone? Thank you, Councillor Butler. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor Wilson, thank you. All those in favor?
Okay. Can I discuss?
Sure.
Discuss this one?
Any questions? Yeah. Go ahead, Councillor Benson.
So over the holidays, I was thinking a lot about what was discussed at the last meeting in terms of increasing the diversity of people on council. And when I did some research, and it does show that pay does affect who would run for council, after kind of being in the public and the social media of it. That's kind of like the number one reason people won't run. But if you look at it, people that tend to run for city council positions are retirees, self-employed, independently wealthy people who don't have to work, or people that have jobs with very flexible employers. So this does exclude quite a range of individuals whose voices aren't heard. And I really liked the benchmarking that staff did with this report, and I think it would help attract a more diverse group of council candidates. But I do have two issues with the motion. And that's why I will be voting no tonight. Number one, if the goal is to increase diversity of our council, I don't think that the retroactive pay to January 2024 achieves this. And also I'm uncomfortable from an HR standpoint, obviously, like setting our own rates, but also when we took our oath of office, we said we wouldn't have discussions where we have a direct or indirect pecuniary interest. And for me, I feel like this is the case here. So I will be voting no on this, and I just wanted to say why. I didn't say why the last time, but I do take into account the diversity. I thought the comments you made were really, really good, and Councillor Butler made a couple comments about increasing diversity. And so I think that the best, what I'd be comfortable with is before the next council comes in, doing the vote then.
Okay. Councillor Butler.
To the chair. Can we do a friendly amendment to the motion that this be effective October 2026?
I would, through the chair, I would suggest that the bylaw that we have in front of us tonight addresses that it comes to that committee and then they come back with the recommendations. The point of this motion was to bring council up to date, so to speak, right? Because they have not seen an increase for several years here. I mean, this is on the table right now, this motion can be amended, this
Mhm.
motion can be defeated, or it can be approved. That's up to council.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I like the motion for the most part, but I do also appreciate Councillor Benson's comments. Can we just make it simple so that it'll be going to committee review, but maybe just take out that whole 4% retro? And we don't need to be concerned about that. We can just worry about what's gonna happen going forward, and these decisions will be based on a committee. Because I'm not, again, comfortable in voting myself a raise.
Thank you through,
Ms. Butler.
thank you through the chair. If that is the case, then I just would defeat the motion.
Mhm.
Right, because defeating the motion basically says that you don't get the 4% for 2024. And then the bylaw that's coming up later on in the meeting speaks to bringing
Okay,
all those issues forward. So if that was the intent, not to get a raise in 2024, then just defeat this motion. And then we bring forward the bylaw that speaks to.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so just to be clear, if we defeat this motion, then we still strike up the committee to go in and have a look at, council's roles and responsibilities and
Before the next election.
before the next election. Okay,
And it would come, and it is, sorry, through the chair, it is set up so that whatever that committee recommends takes effect for the new council, not this current council.
okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so, then we need a motion to refer.
No, we don't. Motion
We're just
can
gonna-
stand on the
okay.
floor and then it's
Okay,
just call the
so
question.
the motion is that council approve based on a comparative per capita basis, an increase of 4% retroactive to January 1st of 2024 to the indemnity of the mayor and the members of council. There was a mover and a seconder, so all those in favor? Okay, all those opposed? That was carried. The next, sorry?
Defeated.
Yeah, defeated. The next item is that council provide authority to the chief administrative office to enter in a recreation funding agreement with the city of Roslyn for 2 years effective January 1st, 2025. Councilor Wilson and Councilor Hanson, all those in favor? Thank you, that was carried. That council provide the Family Action Network with a rental waiver associated with their use of the Cominco Gymnasium for the Watch Me Thrive event in the estimated amount of $477. Councilor Benson and Councilor Butler, all those in favor? Okay, thank you, that was carried. Okay, on to our reports and meeting minutes of council meetings. Resolution that council adopt the following minutes and recommendations within the Regional Airport Advisory Committee, January 7th, 2025. And the chair is Councilor Hanson and Councilor Butler. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So just an update from the Trail Regional Airport Advisory Committee. That unfortunately, as we heard earlier today, that our flights reported were down for November and December, unfortunately, due to weather. We are working very closely with Pacific Coastal and the airport manager on addressing some of the things that maybe we could look at, trying to resolve, some of those things. We're also looking at hosting an event during Silver City Days. So we're working on getting some commitment from some groups to have something out at the airport, potentially on the Saturday in the afternoon for those who haven't seen, maybe with the Flying Club, Air Cadets, etc. Our partners have been doing work with the Kootenai Rockies Tourism, and they're in an outdoor adventure travel show, which they are going to be working with the Josie Hotel and Red Mountain. They're working on hopefully having them as guests to get more promotion from the coast for people flying up here. They're going to be updating some signage in regards to and promoting some cargo services. Also, in regards to transportation, we know that busing out to the airport and Juanita area Highway 22 has been an issue. And so we have been connected with BC Transit, and we know they are looking at their work plan for 2026, 2027, and that is an area they are looking at expanding. So we are going to keep working with them to try to get that advanced as soon as possible. And we are also working on our BCAP grant funding application, or Enrico or Mr. Morley for applying for some grant funding to upgrade our master plan. That is it at this time for the airport committee. Is any questions?
Thank you.
So do I have to do these separately, or can I do them together, the two reports,
They can be
committee
just,
reports?
they can just be, approved together.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're not passing any motions.
Okay, and the next item on the agenda is the Trail Area Health and Environment Committee. And I believe that Councillor Hanson has an update on the work program that we are working on.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor Jones. So the November 28th meeting minutes, we reported out that the blood lead average is in line with last year, 2.2 micrograms per deciliter. They are working very hard with tech in managing their lead exposure, so that was great. We had a couple of great presentations. Part of that is the tech is working on a wide area remediation plan, which is an approved regulatory plan to address lead and other metal contamination caused by historical emissions in the Lower Columbia Valley, or designated as their environmental management area, and it defines who is responsible and the risks and standards to be used. So the work is having some public consultation. So what we're doing now with the Trail Health and Environment Program, it's just really formalizing what they're actually doing and having a opportunity to have something permanently in place to protect the community in the future, as opposed to them applying for their regulations and approvals every single year. It's a longer term plan and goal that they'll be working with. They will have public consultations. There's some small in-person groups and open houses, January 15th and 18th, and online sessions on January 22nd. If you want any more information on the public consultation and the wide area remediation plan, it's very, very easy to find. I actually just pulled it up here online. You can go to, I believe it's techtrailoperations.com/WARP, or feel free to Google and you should be able to get right to it to get the details for getting to the consultations if you're interested. That is all for my report.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hanson. So the resolution is that council adopt the following two reports, and the recommendation is out there for you to move forward, please. Is there someone that would like to make that motion? Councillor Butler and Councillor Wilson? All those in favor? That is carried, thank you. Okay, Councillor Martin, the Regional District Kootenai Boundary Report.
Thank you, Mayor Jones, through the chair. On behalf of council, I attended the following meetings. On December the 10th, I attended an RDKB Liquid Waste Management Plan Steering Committee meeting at Trail. There was a verbal update from Goran Denkovsky, the manager of Infrastructure and Sustainability, on the Columbia Pollution Control Center upgrade, and everything is proceeding as expected. On December the 10th, I attended an RDKB East End Services meeting in Trail. There was a delegation from LCIC on plans for 2025. Delegation included Brent Anhel, Dan Ashman, Pete Stamper from KC Recycling, Matt Carrillo from Tech, and Thompson Hickey. LCIC is holding job interviews this month to fill 2 vacant positions. They would also like to have the same delegation come to a future council meeting to have an open discussion about their future with the City of Trail and the RDKB. On December the 11th, I attended an RDKB Community Fire Smart and Resiliency Committee meeting via Teams. Was asked to attend a meeting which reviewed the 2024 Fire Smart program, discussions of key priorities for 2025, including community resiliency funding, and the reintroduction of cultural and prescribed fire on local landscapes, and an overview of wildfire defense systems and contracting. On December the 11th, I attended an RDKB board meeting in Trail, discussion regarding the acceptance of soils at the McKelvey Creek landfill. There was talk about reviewing the contaminated soils policy to allow the soils from the pollution control center upgrade. But they will, to accept them, because at this point with their provincial regulations, they're not allowed to take them. So it's been decided that they will continue to be transported to a landfill in the RDCK that already accepts these contaminated materials. The board approved Area B recreation grant in the amount of $5,000 for skiing, skating, and swimming for the students of Webster Elementary. The board approved grants and aid for Area A, $1,500, Beaver Valley Cross Country Ski Club, and Area E West Boundary, $450 for the Beaverdale Community Club Hot Lunch Program. That's it for my report. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Martin. Is there any question for Councillor Martin at this time? No, okay. So all those in, do I need a motion for that? Sorry. Things
Just a
have
motion
changed.
to no, you don't, because it was just a verbal report.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so on to our correspondence, item number 15. And I need a resolution that the following correspondence be received for information. And the first one is the Ministry of Mental Health and Addiction. Our follow-up letter from our UBCM meeting in September of 2024. The Association of Kootenay Boundary Local Government call for resolutions. And the Union of BC Municipalities Canada Community Building Fund. I do have a comment on the Association of Kootenay Boundary for Local Government. This is a call for resolutions. And I wanted to bring it forward to council today because I think it would be important for us to put a resolution forward as a city. I don't believe that I've seen a resolution come from the city to the AKBLG during my time. And it shows the process of a resolution, how it goes from the city to the AKBLG, and that's how we get the information to UBCM. And that's how we get our issues talked about at UBCM and at the AKBLG as well. I mean, you know, that's a regional conference as well. So we get to have that discussion there and hopefully move the resolution and the issue to the UBCM. So I wanted to have this information here so we could talk about the process. And I've asked Ms. Butler to talk about this as well, so that moving forward, we can start planning for a resolution to go forward to the AKBLG. Having said that, we also have to be prepared to speak at it when we're at the AKBLG as well. So, open.
Yeah, thank you, your worship. Just, you know, as Mayor Jones was commenting that this is the way to get something dealt with at the regional level. But council has to be united in what resolution they're bringing forward. So just to say, bring forward a resolution, that would be up to council to decide what is the topic that they want that resolution to be. And then staff would be more than happy to draft a resolution to that. These resolutions are usually have a couple of whereases. So we'd have to decide on, you know, but the main thing that you have to decide is what the topic is and what you want to get out of that resolution. So that would be, I would suggest, if you have something you think we should be bringing forward, to speak up and give staff the direction to.
And we have until the end of February, February 28th to get these. So I'm, you know, bringing it forward to give us lots of time to talk about it and, you know, see if there's something that, I mean, we have lots of issues that we could definitely bring forward, but as Tracy said, it has to be council as a whole that decides, yes, this is what's important and this is a priority for us. So it's food for thought. It's just getting the information out there for you right now. And yeah, I'll keep it on the radar, keep you guys updated on things that are. But in the meantime, if you have any housing, you know, mental health and addiction support and consequences.
Through the chair, just thinking in terms of, we've talked a lot about like regional treatment facilities. Is it something we could if we put forward one, would getting like support from municipalities around us too? Is that something that is done usually? Would we have good luck with that or?
You know what? I don't know, but there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a great idea to have regional support going into VAKBLG with the regional resolution. I think it's a great idea because all our communities are going through the same issues. If we could find something a little bit different and unique to bring forward. Councillor Martin.
It's interesting if we're gonna do it regionally, because you guys remember when we were at UDCM and Premier Evie was talking about these community care facilities.
Mhm.
I can't see them want to put a community care facility in Trail, Castlegar and Nelson, but a regional community care facility someplace, maybe something we could think of, we could talk about as we move forward. Just an idea. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's a great idea. Okay, so that is there for information. And I also wanted to just, the third item on there is the Union of BC Municipalities, Canada Community Building Fund. And I'm really excited to tell you that the UBCM is in the process of distributing the second Community Works Fund payment for fiscal 2024-2025. And the amount that we will be receiving is $212,000 and $212,020. And we should have it in our account by the end of December, so we'll have to check and see if
it's there.
So that's a good news story. So the resolution is that the following correspondence be received for information. Councillor Martin and Councillor Hanson, all those in favor? Thank you. We do have a proclamation request tonight, and the resolution is that council consider and resolve that the request from the BC Epilepsy Society requesting to proclaim March 26, 2025 as the International Purple Day for Epilepsy Awareness in the City of Trail be approved. Councillor Benson. Councillor Wilson, all those in favor? Thank you, that was carried. And the next item on the agenda is the Regional District Kootenay Boundary Emergency Program. And this is for the UBCM 2025 CRI Fire Smart Community and Funding and Supports. And the resolution is that council consider and resolve that Trail City Council authorize the Regional District Kootenay Boundary to apply for, receive and manage the grant funding available through the UBCM CRI Fire Smart Community Funding of up to $200,000 in order to sustain regional fire smart activities. Councillor Martin, and a seconder, please. Councillor Hanson. Any questions or comments before we? No? Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. That was carried unanimously. So on to the mayor's report.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. So it seems funny, a couple of items that I have on my report tonight are from December. So it seems funny to be talking about these items, almost a month and a half later, but on December the 11th, I attended the Rotary, Trail Rotary Club Christmas Carol Festival on behalf of the city. And I was asked to make some opening remarks, and I really want to thank the Rotary Club for continuing with this Christmas event. It's a great fundraising for our community, and it actually kicks off the holiday season every year with the great music and the community spirit. And this year they raised over $7,000 for the Salvation Army, and all that money stays in the community, and it goes to all the kettles. It supports that program. On December 13th, I really want to recognize the Christmas event that was organized by the Downtown Trail Improvement Committee, and that was the Santa Parade. And I know that a lot of time and energy was put into this parade by Councillor Butler and Councillor Hanson. And just thank you both for the work that you did on this event. It was really, really so overwhelming to see so many people. The amount of parents and grandparents, and most importantly was the amount of kids on the streets screaming for Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, which is kind of cool. More Santa though. So great to see everyone out that evening. It was a really nice evening, actually. And I just also want to mention that all the small businesses that stayed open and supported the parade. And a really big thank you to the Trail Fire Department for taking such good care of Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, making sure they arrived to light up the Christmas tree in a safe way and take so many pictures with the family. It was really a great evening. Just want to say we're really disappointed to learn that our proposal for the emergency treatment fund is not, we're not receiving it. Just to put it bluntly, but it's, it was the grant that we put in to increase health equity through the pharmacy access and the mobile service. Health Canada did receive over 300 eligible proposals, and our application was forwarded to Health Canada on behalf of the city, our nonprofit organization Anchors, and also Interior Health. But we were unsuccessful. We are going to keep the information that we have because we know that there's more grants coming available. So we have that information, which is good, and it'll make the process a lot easier. Also, a special thank you to Ms. Lucchini, who helped organize that grant and getting that sent out and done in such a expedited time period. It was great. Also, we received a letter of appreciation to the city of Trail from Linda Sawatko, who is the president of the Society of the Lower Columbia Community Health Center, Network Center. And she was thanking us and sharing news about the new community health center. And she just wanted to thank us for our commitment and advocacy for the to the Ministry of Health as well, for approving the proposal that they put forth for the community health center. And she did say that it wouldn't have been possible for them to achieve this health center if it wasn't for the support that was provided by the municipalities and the regional districts in this area. And so she shared that they have secured a site in downtown Trail, which will serve as the place for the Lower Columbia Community Health Center. And once it's operational and fully staffed, the center will be a patient-centered care, a patient care center that connects individuals to health services all in one place. It's going to be a welcoming and environment, and providers will have the opportunity to do the full scope of their practice, and the patient's needs will be able to be looked after all in one center. New and exciting, I just wanted to talk about the new garbage bins that we have around town. I think they've really made a big difference. And they are being placed about town. The new garbage cans are wrapped in historical pictures of the city of Trail. And we have a total of 21 of the receptacles. There's 16 that have been wrapped and 5 that are just plain. I did receive a question about the cost of the garbage cans, and I just wanted to let the public know, as well as council know, that the contract is based on a per lift fee. So the per lift fee is $10.52 per receptacle. And it's collected twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And the contractor will submit a monthly collection sheet with their invoice to indicate whether they have picked up or had to use or change the receptacle, whether it was serviced on each of those days for collection. And I actually really think they make a difference downtown. The area just looks, the downtown core looks so much cleaner and brighter, and I also want to mention the historical picture of on the old Eaton's building that has been installed. And again, it looks great, really changes the energy and it feels more welcoming downtown. But a big shout out to the Trail Historical Society for picking the pictures and being involved with that. It just really shows, you know, the history that we had down there at one time. Thank you. That's my report. It's kind of a short report, you know, having time off between Christmas and New Year's and, but yeah, things were still happening. Any questions?
Just in regards to the 900 Spokane, placades or, pictures that have been placed. Those were put on so that they could be removable, and then in future, when that building does end up coming down, they can be moved to other locations. That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it is.
Thank you.
Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, so on to item number 17, bylaws for consideration. We have the first one, a bylaw to amend the City of Trail zoning bylaw number 2503, 2022. And a report from the manager of legislative services advancing the revised rezoning application and proposed bylaw amendment for the property located on 1955 7th Avenue. And Ms. Lutini, on to you.
Thank you, Your Worship, through the chair. This matter was before council initially last May on rezoning, or sorry, a rezoning bylaw was brought forward in June. Just prior to adoption of that bylaw, the applicant received information that there may be some changes to the proposal that would have affected the rezoning, effectively making it wrong. So we had to pull back and not adopt the bylaw at that time. Initially, it was proposed that there would be two buildings constructed as part of the seniors villa society's upgrade to that senior area that's going to create 41 units of seniors housing there. The reason for 2 units was that to reduce relocation costs. It has now been brought forward by the architect that they are proposing only 1 unit now. But as a result of that, they are able to keep 2 of the existing buildings in place during the construction phase, which makes the relocation simply the same as what it would have been with 2 units. There's still ample outdoor amenity areas. The only change to the bylaw from last June to now is that they have to have a small reduction in the front yard setback in order to accommodate the existing buildings remaining in place during construction. The setback that is being requested is minimal, and it exceeds what is currently required for R1, which is what most of the neighborhood is. So the building will be set back more than most of the houses on the street. So it is staff recommendation that this bylaw receive first, second, and third reading this evening, at which point it would be placed on the next agenda for adoption.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any questions or comments? Casey?
Sorry, thank you through the chair. And just so that we don't have to do a whole new zoning amendment bylaw, that is why we have 3 motions on the floor tonight. 1 to rescind third reading from that previous bylaw, 1 to make the amendment, and then we will adopt it or read a third reading of amendment. So there are 3 separate motions that we need tonight.
Okay. So the first resolution to consider and resolve is that the third reading of the zoning bylaw, amendment bylaw number 2943, 2024 be rescinded. Councillor Hanson, Councillor Butler, all those in favor? That was carried, thank you. The zoning amendment bylaw number 2043, 2024 be amended to include a reduction to the minimum front yard setback from 7.6 meters to 6.2 meters. Councillor Benson, thank you, and Councillor Hanson. All those in favor? That was carried, thank you. that zoning amendment bylaw number 2024, as amended, be read a third time. Counselor Cashel and Counselor Wilson, all those in favor? That was carried, thank you. A bylaw to amend the annual indemnity to be paid to the mayor and councils. The resolution, council consider and resolve that council indemnity bylaw number 2948 be read a first, second, and third time. Please, Ms. Butler.
You're, through the chair, looking at this bylaw as has been presented, there are a few amendments that I think council may want to consider before we read first reading. And that would be item 2 of the bylaw. When I wrote it, I gave you guys the 4% raise. So we would need to amend that line 2 to, instead of reading $41,002 to $39,425, which is what you are currently receiving for remuneration. And the mayor's from the 19,266 as written in the bylaw to 18,525. So that would be one amendment council may want to put forward before we do the official readings. And the next one would be item 6, where it reads effective January 1st, 2025. That is when council would start receiving annual COLA. We may want to change that. Council may want to amend that by either being 2026 or 2027. So I will leave that up to you. If council does feel like they need to amend, we need to do first and second, call for a mover and a seconder, and then for a councillor to put forward an amendment, and then we will vote on that amendment, and then we can pass it at first reading as amended.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion on exactly what you just said, for item number 2. That be removed and we go back to the original pay grade. Those numbers that you cited, Ms. Butler.
I'll second that. Remove number 2.
What we have to do first and second reading.
Yeah, first of all, we need to put on the table for first, second, and third. Okay, and then we're making an amending motion, so we've got that, and so we need a first and seconder for that amending motion. Is that the only item that you wish amended?
Maybe you can speak to number 6, Councillor.
Sure.
Chair.
I guess through the chair, the amendment would be based on the council select committee recommendation, wouldn't it be, in terms of COLA?
Yes, when I put this in, this is a best practice.
Okay,
To have a COLA statement. And the reason for that is now, without that COLA statement, this council has not received anything since 2021. Now we're looking at a full 5-6 years before there's an increase. So now your select committee that you appoint may come back and it looks like a lot of catch up. So it's kind of what kind of pressure do you want
Yeah,
to put
no,
on them?
And I appreciate, through the chair, the
Yeah.
work that Ms. Butler put into this, and I think I'm okay with it staying at 2025 unless somebody wants to change it to 2026, and I'm not sure what the big advantage would be in doing that.
Then I suggest put your amendment forward just for changing item 2.
That's my motion to change item 2.
And is there someone to move that? Counselor Butler, is there a seconder?
Yep.
Counselor Wilson, thank you. All those in favor? Okay. Counselor Benson and Counselor Martin, I didn't see your hands up.
No.
Okay. So it was carried.
So it was carried.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you voting opposed?
Mhm.
Okay, do you want to be recorded as opposed?
sure.
Yes, please.
Okay,
And your worship, the next motion would be that bylaw number 2948 as amended be received first, second, and third reading.
okay. So, as Ms. Butler said, the indemnity bylaw number 2948 be read a first, second,
First, second, and third time?
third
as
time
amended.
as amended. Okay, Counselor Butler, thank you. Counselor Cashel, all those in favor? Thank you, that was carried.
Those opposed?
Those opposed? Martin, Counselor Martin and Counselor Benson.
And do they?
Oh, and sorry, do you want to record it?
Yes, we
Sure.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. That always gets a little bit confusing. I'm happy you to guide me through that. Number 18 is a notice of motion, please. Sorry, Counselor Martin, did I miss something?
No, I'm just confused on something. I apologize.
Well, no, this is the time to work through the confusion.
Oh, no, we've already voted on it. It's been, and I'm okay, thank you. I appreciate you asking.
Okay. So, next item is a notice of motion. Is there anything from council? Our next meetings are January 27th, 2025 for the committee of the whole meeting, followed by the regular council meeting at 6 p.m. And that will be held in the council committee room and or the chambers of the city of Trail, and also via Zoom, a live meeting. I see no one here for question period unless council has any questions.
There are 6 people online.
Oh, I don't see that. Okay.
We do have a raise hand, a question from the public. So we'll just take a minute to,
I can't tell who it is.
it says.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
iPhone 7.
You just promoted them?
Yeah, it looks like they're.
Oh, cool.
Oh, great. So iPhone 7?
Yes, good evening, your worship and council. My name-
Hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. We just are with the Neighborhood Network and we're just wondering if anyone, the task force has seen our report and if we'll get any feedback from that.
Counselor Martin.
Yeah, it's Counselor Martin here, iPhone 7. I mentioned to you folks who were sitting in the gallery that night that we'll be bringing this up at the Community Safety Task Force, and our next meeting is on January 27th. So there'll be nothing January 27th. I think I did mention it to you folks that night.
You did, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that that was going to be still there. Thank you very much, guys. Good job tonight.
Okay,
Can I
thank you. Hold on a sec before you leave, please. Counselor Benson has a question.
We have distributed the, Counselor Martin did distribute it to every member of the task force so that they're ready to discuss.
Thank you, Counselor.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, your worship.
And I don't see any other.
No other
hands.
questions? Okay.
So through the chair, going forward, should not iPhone 7 be identified as who they actually are? I think we know who that is, but wouldn't that be the practice we should follow?
Mhm.
Yes, it is a practice. I think tonight we will just note it as representative from the
Okay.
Trail Neighborhood Network.
Thank you, your worship.
And usually going forward, we ask for their name. We don't ask for their addresses anymore. It's just their name.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so, item 21 is adjournment. Counselor Wilson and Counselor Martin, all those in favor? Thank you. That was good.